Hi, this is Polar Bear 1986, and this is my vlog 1 for my English 1 and 2 course on folk knowledge. The topic I chose for this assignment for the interviews was folk medicine or traditional medicine. Basically, I chose that topic just because my whole family is pretty medical. My grandmother worked in a chiropractor's office for years. My mom's a nurse. I've been a vet tech for about 10 years and am planning to go get my master's in nursing if I can ever finish undergrad. And so medicine's always played a real big part in my life in general. But growing up, always, without even realizing it, we used all kinds of herbal remedies and home remedies that largely my grandmother, would tell us about. And most of them honestly work, at least to a large degree. Maybe not for major problems, but always for, burns, cuts, scrapes, warts, blisters, whatever. Something always was wrong, and always pretty well worked. I interviewed my mom and my grandma, and they're both from southeastern Missouri, a little town called Sikeston. But my mom has lived in Memphis for about 36 years. And so some of her knowledge has also come from my daddy's side of the family down in North Mississippi, as well as her formal medical training. Both interviews were done by phone, and I recorded those so that I'd have a copy. Basically, the things that I learned, I think the thing that surprised me the most was that my grandmother especially didn't really recognize a lot of the stuff she did as folk medicine per se. I had kind of a hard time explaining, I think, to her what exactly I was looking for. I used the word herbal at one point to try and help illustrate that point, and she thinks she kind of clasped onto that and therefore thought that I didn't necessarily want to know about things that weren't herbs per se. Um, but and even so, I asked her directly if her mother, my great grandmother, had used any kind of traditional medicine. And at first, she was kind of like, sort of, yeah, no, not really. But then the more I talked to her specifically about it, the more I realized that yeah, she did, and that just was kind of the way things were. And so my grandmother didn't really see it that way as folk medicine. I think I pretty effectively answered the question I initially had. I guess the question I initially had was just it's kind of a generalized where, why is my family so medical? Why is it kind of ingrained in all of us? There are 3 grandkids on that side of the family, and 2 of us are going into medicine or currently working it. The third's still in high school, so we're not really sure. But it's just kind of always been a big part of the family, so that's something I would definitely wanted to find out more about, especially having heard about it my whole life. All in all, I enjoyed the assignment and found it fairly interesting, and really, would actually like to learn some more. So I'll probably something I'll have to sit down with my grandma and my mom with, and just kind of talk to them about it more leisurely and try and coax some more information out of them. But that is about it. I am signing off, and I will see you next time.